It's pro day season. 2025 NFL draft is around the corner. It's already March. The time is flying by. It's officially pro day season. I'm Cody Carpentier here with the Draft Rankings show. Appreciate y'all for tapping in every single day, 7 a.m. Eastern time here on podcast or on YouTube. I just want to go through some pro days. Tomorrow I'm going to be releasing my NFL mock draft and we'll talk about it. But today we're just going to talk through some pro days that happened last week and what is upcoming this week. Last week we had Indiana, Purdue, Washington State, Wisconsin, to name a few players that did participate in the pro days. Wisconsin had one interesting note here at the wide receiver position. Bryson Green, who I'm not even sure who this guy is. This is why I like to go through pro day data. Bryson Green, wide receiver, runs a 4.48 40, 21 bench reps, sub 7 second three cone 6.80, a 4.20 shuttle, a 39-inch vertical, and a 10-foot, 11-inch, nearly 11-foot broad jump. Bryson Green. This is one of my favorite things to do. I'm going to talk you guys through it right as I do it here. Bryson Green. He's from Allen, Texas, formerly of Oklahoma State, played at Wisconsin, 6'2", 215 pounds, 2 seasons at Oklahoma State. His best season, 36 receptions, 584 yards, 5 touchdowns. At Wisconsin this past year, he only played 8 games. Looks like he was hurt. He had 17 catches for 219, but in his career, he's got 97 catches, 1,411 touchdowns. This is how the sausage is made, so to speak, for the undercovered prospects. The OGs of Cody Carpentier on Twitter know the undercovered prospects, the undercovered ops are some of my favorite guys to talk about, to find, to dig through the mud and get information on. And this is how you do it. You go through pro day information. It's pro day season officially as of last week. Again, there was only a couple of pro days that happened last week that really have named. There's a lot of smaller school ones, which are, again, a way to grind through the tape. But Wisconsin was the only team last week that had all 32 NFL teams participating, or I should say, showing up to their workouts. Other teams that did have people out there: East Texas A&M, Eastern Kentucky, Grand Valley State, to name a few. This week is when the heavy hitters start to kind of rear their head. On Tuesday, we're going to have Kentucky's pro day, Oklahoma and Tennessee. On Wednesday, we'll have Georgia and USC. On Thursday, we'll have Clemson and Illinois. And on Friday, we'll have Delaware and Georgia Tech. Delaware, of course, home to Marcus Yarns. So we're going to get a lot of good information this week from pro days. We'll talk about it on a couple of different shows. If not, you can also check out my show over on Roster Watch. It's now up daily as well. We're doing a daily, that's an hour-long show up on Roster Watch, a daily show with Alex Dunlap. We talk all things NFL, draft, fantasy football, you name it. But today, again, like I said, we're just talking straight pro day. But I do want to remind you to please click that like button. Please click subscribe. And if you are tapped in on podcast or on YouTube, just know we're in both places at 7 a.m. every single day of the week through draft season, into the summer, to the season next year. We're live every single day, 7 a.m. Eastern time. You can get the podcast. And if you do get the podcast just from the player profiler feed, it doesn't drop until 7 p.m. You can go over to the Draft Rankings show feed by itself, and you can get the podcast at 7 a.m. If you're on YouTube, you already know 7 a.m. is indeed the move. All right, a couple of other interesting players that kind of caught my eye as I slide through here. We had a wide receiver from Indiana, Miles Price, who did not get a combine invite. He had a 4.4 340-yard dash. He jumped 36 inches, 10-foot broad. Those are all right numbers. I don't have a height or weight on him from that event. Miami, Ohio has a running back, Kevin Davis, 4.41, 6.84 3-cone, 4.20 shuttle, 37.5-inch vertical, 10-foot, 5-inch broad jump. Those are interesting numbers. They also had another running back, Keyon Mosey, who had a 4.07 shuttle. See, these are both names, Kevin Davis and Keyon, Keyon Mosey, Mozee. These are both names that I'm going to write down because I don't know. I haven't seen them before. I haven't watched them on tape. I haven't done anything. So I'm going to write their names down as I'm talking through and seeing like numbers that jump off. Numbers that jump off to me for like a running back anything in the 6/8 for a 3-cone is fantastic. Anything sub 7, I'm happy with. A shuttle, if it's south of 4.2, I'm happy. A vertical and broad, of course, you're looking for that explosion. So you're looking at, honestly, 38 inches in the vertical, 10 feet plus in the broad is a good number. And at Pro Day, for a 40, it has to be sub 4.5, 4.5 flat. Usually, the historical data that we found when I was working at Player Profiler was over the course of like a decade, Pro Day data was more times than not 5/100ths of a second slower, or sorry, faster. So at a Pro Day, you maybe timed 4.35, but more times than not, when we tested guys that competed at the combine and the Pro Day, if they ran a 4.4 flat at the combine, they would run a 4.35 at the Pro Day, and it's basically 5/100ths of a second of eye time, because hand time is obviously different than laser time. I hope that makes sense. Hope that clears that up. But those are numbers that I'd be kind of particularly looking for. There's not really a lot of guys on here. Reggie Love is one that I've followed his name from his days at Illinois. Reggie Love did not have a good pro day. Reggie Love, let's see here. He had 5 seasons in college, 4 seasons at Illinois. He had 567 yards and 4 touchdowns in 23 before transferring. Reggie Love came in, no weight listed here, but he was formerly 5'11", about 190, 195 pounds. He ran a 4.75, a 7.31 3-cone, a 4.53 shuttle, less than 10 foot in the broad, 35 inches in the vertical, just a bunch of numbers that generally don't pop off the screen to you. So Reggie Love's going to be one that, again, like I said, 3 years ago, I knew Reggie Love's name at Illinois, and he's good on tape, but it's not a guy that I'm going to go out on a limb, watch some more tape, and continue to push this thing up. So that's all we got so far for Pro Days. There's not a lot of data in here. We got a quarterback from Wisconsin Whitewater that ran a 4.80 Jason Seneti, 4.70 shuttle, 32-inch vertical, things like this. Shout out Wisconsin River Falls. Dylan Brown, cornerback, 4.47 40, 10'8" broad jump, 34.5-inch vertical. There's going to be plenty more coming. Like I said, big Pro Day week this week. Oklahoma, Tennessee, Georgia, USC, Clemson, Illinois, Delaware, Georgia Tech. I'm Cody Carpentier. It's a short one today. It's Pro Day season. The Draft Ranking Show rolls on. We'll be back tomorrow with a 5-round 2025 NFL mock draft from myself, Cody Carpentier. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. And I'll see you tomorrow morning.